Yes.
Good. All right, we're streaming.
Are?
Yep, we are online, supposedly.
Oh, yeah, I guess it just hasn't updated yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit of Radiant Silvergun. Something uh, that I don't want to be good at.
Oh boy.
You ever watched? You ever played this one?
No.
It's, if you can't tell on the stream, where I played on very easy last time. It's hard, but it's really good. It's really good. All right.
It does take a little bit for Twitch to update.
That's not surprising, but it's up now, right?
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal.
Oh,
Well, how
yeah,
are you tonight, Brandon?
a little tired, you know. That's why I wish that the body would like not wake me up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m.
Relatable. Tomorrow is my day off, and I'm still gonna be up at ridiculous early because I gotta get the kid to school and all.
So does she still go to like what to like is it 12:30 or 2:30? It used to be really early.
So she's in camp right now, so she's out at 1 o'clock.
Oh, now you're all blurry.
Oh no.
You have to stay in camera. You have to stay in the camera. That's why if you notice I turned off my blur. It just I don't like what it does to the camera the entire time.
Yeah.
It's either
Is it
over.
better now?
No, no, absolutely not. Because because it thinks you're a
Oh, there I am.
background.
Okay, I see. Me.
So how do you get the stupid mod view? There we go.
There we go. All right, better. Okay, better, better. No, I'm still low.
Yeah.
I really need to replace
That's
my
why.
desk chair.
Does it not lock upright
No, it
anymore?
does not.
Oh, dang. Yeah. Yep. Time to. That's why when I was getting a chair, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and invest in just a little bit better of a chair. One doesn't have to go all out like I did, but uh, spending a little extra money will go a long way.
I cannot believe I didn't just die. That was incredible for me.
But no, Radiant Silvergun is that genre that I just don't particularly play.
Oh, I wasn't paying close enough attention to the thing closing in on me. I like a good bullet hell. I'm no good at them, but I like playing them. So, did you catch up on any of the announcements from State of Play?
I looked at it a little bit, but
It.
nothing I ever really cared about. It's like oh, there's a new RPG, but it's a Souls like. I'm like, well, it's not like there's not a million of those already.
Yeah, and I'm at a point where that's not enough. It's really got to do something special to convince me to
Well, see,
give it time.
that's I think that's sort of the problem that these places are going to start running into is that they're just going to
It's the
get
sword.
lost because they're not doing anything special, which is I don't know who's made it. I don't know how big or small they are, but it's like sort of my issue with the indie studios that are making games in this style is there's so many of them now. I just feel like a lot of them you just if you ever hear of them, it's because you someone just happened to talk about them. You don't just hear about them because they're great because it's never been done before, but it has been done before, like 100 times before you.
The one that's still kind of funny to me is that the big one last year was Lies. Was that last year? Or was that just this year? It was this year.
Lies P.
Lies of P.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was this year.
Is that's the Victorian one?
Yeah, the Pinocchio inspired one.
I've seen that one played a little bit.
I'm gonna be out of credits before getting out of level 1. This is not good. So no, that's not the stuff that really. I mean, like those were fine I mean, when I popped on Twitter for a couple minutes after the event, and just to see what everybody else thought, because I thought it was a pretty terrible event.
I mean, it
And
looked bland. It did, even if you like remove like one's opinions about certain styles, it didn't look like they even had all that much.
they didn't. They put a bunch of time into announcing that big hero shooter, Concord. Like they had the
Hmm.
big opening video about it, and it was this huge cutscene with fully voiced characters, and they all have personalities, and it's like, but it's not gonna matter when you're playing the game because it's just another online shooter. It's it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing to see uh, what everybody thinks, whatever the way the medium's going right now, because nobody knows what the big money genre is right now,
Hmm.
and everybody's dumping money into stuff just to see what'll work. And
Pretty
Concord's
much.
from a brand new studio.
Is it?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's Sony in house, but or I mean they're a
I mean,
Sony branded studio, but still that's not good for them to kind of blow it right out the gate. But what do I know? I mean, I never thought
let's see.
Fortnite
Firewall
would be the biggest
Studios.
thing in the world either. So
Well, yeah, it is their first game, though they looks like they've been around since 2018 and sort of just been passed around.
I did see the new trailer for Silent Hill too.
Uh, I, I actively don't watch any of that.
Well, I mean, I only saw it because of the event. Otherwise, I have not seen any of the previous trailers. Let me tell you, man, that game looks terrible.
I can only imagine.
Like, I don't get it. I can't.
I'm talking now to see what type of. Really? I don't hear any echo.
It's probably me.
I mean, even I don't hear any echo from you.
Ah, jeez. The sound problems continue and persist. I need to download that software that we were told about. I've not done that yet. I need to get a new mouse for my personal computer because I'm having to use my personal computer mouse on my work computer, so I don't get as
Oh,
much.
I bought a um, Razer did a Death Adder um, um, Death Adder. It's like a cheap one. They're like $35.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That was my fault.
and I bought the a Logitech for my personal one. They're a lot lighter.
That's what I'm using on my. That's what's usually hooked up with my personal computer. Is a Logitech. Should have gone through the middle, Brad. See, what were the other ones? But no, about Silent Hill. Everything that you could worry about them getting wrong about Silent Hill 2 is gonna be wrong. It looks terrible. And I know there are people who think that just because it's got shinier graphics and stuff, and it's Silent Hill 2 again, it's gonna be just as good as the original. No, no. It's gonna be particularly bad, and uh, I hate the new script. Because, they needed a new script for one of the best written video games ever. Oh, damn it. Did I make it through this boss last time? I did make it through the boss last time. I used up all my continues. Alright. Oh. Let's see. There's an Aliens VR game coming, and it looks pretty good, but I could never play it because it would I can't even play Alien Isolation. I'm too chicken shit for it.
Oh, I didn't actually look at that one.
That one, it
Uh,
looks good. Like, I know it's just a, trailer, but of all of them, that's the one that was the most impressive to me.
Again, I mean, it's just some of this stuff doesn't need, a big
I mean,
state of
honestly, none of the
play.
games they showed
Just
today did. Oh, meta credits again.
that's why I made the statement. I was like, I wonder if they actually understand the concept of what they're trying to do, because I just don't feel like they do it very well.
I'm not sure, because the concept's not that complicated. Or at least you wouldn't think it is. But with the development time that's involved with the games that Sony pushes, like the big, graphics powerhouses and stuff, they would not be able to push anything if they didn't push the small stuff like this as well. They wouldn't have enough for 2 to 3 events a year like Nintendo does. I mean, that's also why Microsoft doesn't have events at all, because they don't have anything.
Well, they bought off everybody. It takes time.
And then they close them all, so they don't have anything new coming from those studios they spent millions upon millions of dollars on. I would love
Yeah.
to say nice things about Microsoft, but they are not in a good position, and
Well, I
I
have to
don't like it.
wonder: is it because it's like I know Bethesda's owned by Microsoft, but was it a Bethesda choice or was it a Microsoft choice?
Not all of those studios were Bethesda studios.
The only one that I'm speaking of is like Arcane. That's the big. That's at least the most well known one.
Yeah, Arcane was published by Bethesda, and so was Tango Gameworks. And honestly, I'm more upset about Tango Gameworks because Tango Gameworks did more unique stuff. And I need to buy a copy of Hi-Fi Rush when that comes out from
Oh
LRG.
yeah, people were surprised about the Hi-Fi Rush one. I guess it was really popular.
Yeah, it was a hit last year. It was like an indie darling, or at least that's how they treated it. Even though it's Shinji Mikami's studio. But everything sucks, so we don't get to have nice things. So the weirdest trailer was the RPG-ish looking one about the like witch girl in the dresses and all that stuff, and I'm like, this is very nice looking and very charming. I don't want to play it.
The Ballad of Antara.
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
It was a two
Where
word.
Winds Meet.
No, that's actually one I'm interested in. That's one of
Okay.
the Soulsy looking ones. The title's just
Uh,
completely escaping me, and I'm trying not to die in a very hard game, so I can't look at my notes. But regardless, it looked very nice. It looked very charming, and I don't know who the market for it is at all.
oh, Infinity
Yeah.
Nikki.
Yep, that's the one. Like, I mean, I don't care that there might not be a market for it. I mean, it looks very good for what it is. I'm just not sure that it would make back the budget that went into graphics that nice.
Let's see, it's open world RPG from former Zelda director Kentaro Tominaga.
Ooh,
Is that
interesting.
how that is that how that name's pronounced?
I'd have to look at it, and even then, it would be a ballpark guess. So your effort is. Uh,
I mean, it
it's an
seems
effort.
right, but I'm horrible with speaking because I am very American. I can't help it.
You're not. I mean, don't say it like it's a completely negative thing. You're not that kind of American.
Well, I mean, it's the whole, for whatever reason. I don't think it's just us. I think world over people have a hard time pronouncing other people's names,
Yeah.
but it's just it's the joke,
It, it
that Americans.
it doesn't help that we're also from the South, so
I didn't choose to be from here,
trust. I mean, I wouldn't want to be from here. I've never fit in the South. Oh
Let's
yeah, look at that.
see.
Actually got through that part that time without dying. Time to ruin that by running into the wall. Oh, this part's hard. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it'll actually happen. There's been a lot of
Hold on. Hold
things that point to say that Fantasian, is that how that game pronounced?
Yes,
Miss
the
Walker?
Mistwalker game. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is supposed to be going multi-platform, being announced at the next Nintendo Direct.
Oh, thank God, because I don't want to play it on my
Yeah,
phone. I tried and I hated it. Not because of the game, but
because
because of playing it with a phone.
they've been it's been showing up in like Steam's database coming up and uh, a few other things. So they're thinking that it's going to be announced at Nintendo's thing.
Look good. I'm still out of frame. I've got to get a tripod or something. This is terrible. Am I in frame? I can't look.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, you and your big silver black dick. Oh, you know what you could well actually I don't know if you no you wouldn't be able to because that's in the other room. I'm about to say you could have played your Armored Core game.
Oh, that would have been fun. But yeah, that's in the living room. And I'm already using up enough internet streaming video. I don't need to stream video to my PS4 from my PS5 to stream it over the internet. Be a wee bit excessive. Oh, I almost had a sword attack. Big sword attack. Yeah. I love the sword attack. I wish I was better at this game. I was just better at any shmups. They're really fun. They're very hard. To me. What else was in that thing? I mentioned both
We
of the
we
hero
we
shooters.
covered actually the Dynasty Warrior Origins.
Oh yeah. That's right. We have so little to announce that we announced the Musa. Which, hey, it looks good. It looks like a Dynasty Warriors should.
What I don't they did the God of War coming to PC, but they still have, as far as I'm aware, they still have not done Bloodborne.
Nope,
That's the one everybody's been asking for.
quite literally.
They- Yeah, but they still haven't done that one. I was like, why would you just do the one that people actually want?
It's like that's the one thing people actually still pay us money for.
Path of Exile 2. I
Yeah, that
played the first one. I played a lot of it. I beat like at least the main story. It was very. It was just okay.
I
Um,
remember that being the case. Yeah.
the end game I did not like at all.
Oh, oh, oh.
The after the main story. Um,
I tried that a long time ago. Ended up on a PvP server and did not have a good time. So I never
no, I
went back.
imagine not. Uh, they've ch- they've changed a little bit of it that you at least when I was playing it was PvP. It wasn't PvP, but like everyone was together in like
Oh,
the hub area, and then when you went out to your map, you were by yourself unless you did a party. Um, which is how I like to play my Diablo games. Unless I recruit a party member, I want to play it on my own.
yeah, I'm weird. I like to play those solo, which is why I still think the first one's kind of my favorite. It feels like the only one that was ever really designed with single player in mind.
That's probably a very good possibility.
You know, since I bought this on the Switch, I've never been to level 3.
Do you get unlimited continues?
Nope. You do not. I just went to the wrong spot to hide from that laser, so that was good. Real good. And flew right in the missile. Man, I picked a bad one to play. I was just kind of pissed because I couldn't get the Polymega to switch over the HDMI box, and it's just... I don't understand what the reason for that is. I need to figure that out. Actually, I really just need to stick a new HDMI cable in and... Damn it. Continues. And... Stop trying to force everything through the switch box. Let's go again. You know, I have other shmups on the Switch I'm better at. Not much better, but a bit better. Like, I actually managed to beat Danmaku Unlimited 3. And that one was pretty good. Not this good, like... Radiant Silvergun's harder than hell, but it's brilliant. It's an amazing game.
What makes one better than another?
Mechanics.
So I guess it's more interesting to say that one's more interesting than another.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are just more fun to play, too. Like this one, you have 7 weapons that you can use at any time, right from the beginning. One of which is the sword, which I just used and took off a huge chunk of this robot's health. Danmaku, you have a couple of different weapon options, but you mostly just fill the screen with lasers, and you're not really trying to shoot well so much as you are avoiding lasers. And then Ikaruga, you know, it's got the color combos where you can dodge lasers and shoot enemies of a certain color to get combos and then get huge attacks after the fact, which is also very cool. But this one's got the sword, and I love the sword. Even though I just died using it, still think it's cool. And I died again. God, I'm bad at this. Why am I playing this game on stream? This is a bad idea. But whatever, it's a fun game. I also really like... what I like most are cute-em-up shooters. One, because they're easier
That is
for my
weird.
for my terrible level of ability to play them. What? The fact that that's a subgenre?
No, that's your favorite.
I mean, think about which games that is. That's Parodius and Cotton. Parodius especially, but I do like Cotton as well. What's the other one? The one that's the Origin.
I do. Whenever I see pictures of them, they're the most nonsensical ones that I've ever seen.
That's the other thing that's appealing, is that they're so completely nuts that it's hard to have a bad time with them. And they're easier, which is also good. One that I've also got on the Switch.
Rewarding.
The one I've got on Switch is that it's gives me the most trouble is Ray Crisis and Ray Storm. Since it's on the Switch and it's not a Treasure published game or Treasure developed game, you can actually play it with infinite continues and just play until you finish it. But I have a certain rule with that. Like, I don't feel like I've finished one of these games if I, you know, finish it over the course of 150 continues or whatever. So I've never claimed that I've beaten any of either Ray Storm or Ray Crisis. And the reason for that is because I do go through so many continues trying to beat those games. They're just so completely impossible compared to anything else. Like, I actually can get through a level of this. You know, I use up a ton of lives, but I do get through a level or two. That one, I don't. I've never played it well enough to do that, and I've been talking so much that I just blew through all my continues again. Almost had it killed, though. Now, people who know what they're doing with these kinds of games, they could tell you more about what makes them special than I could. You can go up to 10
Mhm.
lives. That's nice. Ooh. Every 300,000. It goes up to very... You know what? Let's do it. Let's see what's very hard looks like. This would be terrible. Do I hear Jones? I hear
You hear a
Jones.
cat.
He's meowing somewhere. He's walking around in front of the TV going, "What are you doing, you strange, horrible man?" What really blows my mind is that I like Parodius, but I'm never been good enough at Gradius to play those at all. And one's a spin-off of the other. Alright.
It doesn't look that much harder than what you were doing before.
I know, that's what I was just thinking, although I'm sure something will come up here in a second that'll make it worse. Oh, oh, oh. Yep, I just died and I didn't even see it. Did I just... Oh, I didn't. Okay, good, good, good. Perv. Everything's going fine. No, I died. What was that we were just saying? How much harder than before? I died on the easy boss. Whew. It went in self-destruction. Lame. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, flew right in that green laser. There's a lot more of those green lasers. Jones, you're very whiny right now, buddy. Bum, bum. Hey, I got a chain. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's good. That wasn't.
I mean, what's the hitbox here?
Uh, not small enough. Alright. I can only think about how hard this bastard's gonna be on very hard difficulty. Since this is usually where my lives get just devoured. Oh, that. Yep. The fan on that is much wider and repeats a lot more.
Hmm.
I got hit by that twice. Yep. Yep. There we go. Oh. I am looking forward to Nintendo's Direct because usually I don't. please don't. Anybody watching this, if there is anybody, don't take me as a Nintendo fanboy. I don't think I can. I would call myself one. I usually hear about games I want to play more often from a Nintendo Direct than any other outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Partially because they announce more re-releases of old games. And yeah, even if they're multi-plat, there's still games I would rather play than uh, Call of Duty for Call of Duty, but God of War for PC and three different multiplayer, most likely live service shooters. Yep, there we go. Same spot as usual. Not gonna play on extra hard this time. Let's play it lower. Let's play it lower.
I don't know how people have time to play those games.
I don't either. I ain't got time for it. My last game win was Shantae, and it took me months.
Well, what did I say? Like my average game time this year has been. Let's see, I think I'm up to what was it like 500 hours, and I've only done like 6 games.
Yeah, you played some big damn games though.
Well, that was sort of the goal for this year.
Yeah, I think you're sticking to it, except for the stuff I stick in your hands to play, like Metal Gear and Night in the Woods. What level are you on in Metal Gear without talking about it in depth?
I beat the first boss,
Oh, nice. That was
Hawk
Hawk,
or
yeah, Slasher
Slasher.
Hawk. I remember a lot of that game. Not enough, but I remember a lot. I do think I'm gonna follow your advice and try and pick up a. You kidding me, Brad? And pick up a run of that as well before we do the show for it. I just died again. Jesus, this is easy difficulty. It's terrible. Since I gotta buy a new Xbox controller before I can play Gun Valkyrie. Did I tell you what happened?
No.
So I'm sitting there last Sunday night playing this game, and I'm in a part that is especially challenging.
Uh-huh.
And what's challenging about it is not combat or anything like that. It's the platforming. The platforming is just frustrating. So I'm playing and playing and playing, and I'm pushing really hard, squeezing the hell out of the controller. You know how sometimes when you just get really into something and you feel like you're you, the tighter you hold on, the more likely it is you'll actually get it right. That's what was
Yeah.
happening. So I'm moving the sticks, and I'm trying to do this ridiculous thing, and I push the stick off of axis basically. I was like, oh, that's not good. This should fix. So I start tapping on it with like the butt of my hand, and the entire bottom half of the controller just kind of crumbles.
Well, okay.
I don't know what causes a controller to get that busted over time, but it was brittle apparently. Because I was just tapping, just like that, trying to get the stick to reset. So I need a new Xbox controller now. I can get one from eStarling for like $12, or I can get a nicer one for 45. But
Oh my God.
it's a wireless one if it's 45.
Oh,
The $12 one's wired, and it's kind of like one of the S controllers, but you know, knockoff.
oh. Well, it's like how much are like genuine Xbox controllers?
I didn't even look because I imagine they're probably, you know, with the way the used game market is right now, it's probably high. Especially if I want to get an S, and I would like to get an S at the very least because I cannot deal with the Duke. It is the most uncomfortable damn controller.
I wonder what they were thinking when they made that thing.
They, in defense of Microsoft, they polled a lot of people about what they wanted in a controller.
And that's what they were told?
Yeah,
Well, clearly those people were wrong.
I
You
mean
asked the wrong people.
maybe they only polled like basketball players or something, people with really big hands.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's more expensive than the knockoff for certain, but it's it's less than $50.
That's not bad, but yikes! Is it wireless though? $45, a wireless one. I could get behind that. I would want to find more
But
Xbox games to play though. This part is such bullshit. sure if I went on YouTube I could find a video of somebody playing this perfectly.
Oh, you always can. And they're definitely not from this country.
I mean, this kind of arcade game's still in Japan, so it's not surprising. Oh, this boss is such a pain in the ass. I mean, unlike America, there's still an arcade scene in Japan. I mean, it is flush with stuff like this and Crimson Clover and loads of other games that are really cool. Damn it, there it went. That was my last life. Oh well.
So what is story mode?
I don't remember. I've done it once or twice, but I don't remember. I have played this several times since I got the physical copy from LRG, but I've never been past the third boss because the third boss always wrecks me. I'll get through it at some point. I mean, I managed to beat Ikaruga eventually, so I can beat this eventually. It'll be alright. That's still one of those, like, things I'm actually impressed by myself with, is that I finished Ikaruga once. Oh, 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 there we go. Get it! Yeah! Wasn't there a shmup that you picked up to try and get into the style of game a couple years ago? What was that?
Wasn't it just last year?
Oh god, was that recent? Time is nonsense to me at this point, so I do not remember.
At least I think it could have been the year before. I don't remember. Uh, hell, I don't remember. No, yeah, I do. It was there's one called Raiden.
Oh yeah, Raiden. A lot of those. I've never actually played any of those either.
Was it Raiden 5?
They've got one out at GameStop right now. I kind of want to pick up. It's one of the games with the worst translations in all of video games.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's Castle of Shikigami 2. It's a lot. It's a lot. I had Castle of Shikigami 3 on the Wii way back in the day, and I wish I hadn't got rid of it because it's something. It's a very special experience and very badly written. I mean, actually, who knows? It might actually be well written, but the translation was car crash fascinating.
Well, I mean, sometimes that makes the game more enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Corpse Killer. I like dumb things.
You have another game that has, well, I
Deep
don't know if
Fear.
it's it's not. I don't know if it's poorly translated. It's certainly poorly voice acted.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's
Oh,
very badly written and very badly performed.
like I know Resident Evil 1, but I still think Resident Evil 1 was better than that. It's like they read about all the the cliches of the genre. It's like, hold my beer.
I don't know. There's certain things like I wonder. One of the things that stuck out most, other than the fact that the writing was just bizarre and terrible, was there was one of the characters who's. I mean, I only played the game for like an hour when I first got it, and I haven't come back since. And I remember there being a black character, like a younger black guy in it,
Yep,
and he
yep.
he
He
talked
has a
about
bad
baseball
line.
all the time.
Yep.
And what stuck out to me about this is, oh, it's a cliche or whatever. Because I don't know that that's a cliche, but it's very weird to me that in Cowboy Bebop, another piece of media from Japan specifically,
Hmm.
there is an episode with a younger black man who is obsessed with baseball, and I'm wondering if this is a trope in Japan that I I just don't know
Well,
about.
it depends on like the time period that they're pulling this stuff from. Because at one point in time, there,
I mean, baseball's
after,
huge in Japan. Like that's not even a guess. I mean,
well, no, it's not even that. Is that there is, from what I've experienced and what I've heard people talk about, is that the African American community isn't into baseball like they used to be, 30 plus years ago.
I guess even still, I'm sorry for noticing it, but like it just kind of stuck out as this weird thing because also their personalities were very similar. Like I'm wondering if it's just a stereo like a stock character in Japanese media that I don't know about because I don't watch enough Japanese media. I guess I say as I play a Japanese video game about spaceships and lasers.
I mean, it's not like we're, well, shit. Even if we were watching anime, I don't think there's a ton of you know black characters in anime right now.
Nah, there's not really. Which that's not cool. I mean, everybody likes anime. It's, I mean, but it also doesn't help that a lot of the stuff that we see here in the states is about living in Japan and like slice of life type stuff. Even if it's not about the slice of life type stuff, that's just such a major genre that it kind of creeps into everything. I mean, it's even the genre of one of my favorite anime. So,
Which was that?
I've been anime.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh, didn't give me that time, asshole. No, not the nuclear bottle caps.
I mean, the slice of life stuff is too much. It's too drama TV for me. Like it's like the equivalent of our drama television shows that we have over
Never,
here.
never been past that boss. Still. Yeah, I agree. I'm back out of the frame again. God damn it. That was a lovely sound, wasn't it?
I actually didn't hear anything.
You'll hear it in a second. Good. Fuck it. Let's see how far I get on the easiest. 10 lives, very easy. Let's see how far I get. I have had the bug lately. I've been wanting to watch some anime.
I can't say that. I don't know if that will ever be the case, unless you make me.
Well, I mean, we are podcasting again. Weirder things have happened. I mean, I'm not letting you take the wheel like last time, though. I'm never watching Kill again. Kill again. It's one of the worst. Still
Well,
one of the
see,
worst
that
things I've ever seen.
it's sad that that was the only way that I'm willing to really delve into anime is to intentionally pick the worst looking things I could find as a rib for entertainment
Yeah,
purposes.
it kills me. Like, people think that's one of the best shows, and I don't agree.
I mean, it follows the same pattern that other animes of that style go into. So,
Hello,
mm,
Dax.
yeah,
I have a kitty cat. I think part of it was I read the the third volume of Ava, and was like, man, I kind of want to watch some anime. That reading those books has been fascinating. Um, just for all the different ways that it manages to do parts of the story from the show better than the original script,
hmm
and seed things better in certain cases. It's a good adaptation, and I quite like uh, a lot of things about it. And I mean, there's even things in it that it's like, oh wow, they could have made Shinji 10% less awful if they had done this.
they could have made him less awful by doing a lot of things.
Yes, but I mean, him being awful is part of the point.
Why?
I mean, it's Hideaki Anno exploring his depression. Everybody in that show's depressed as hell. You can't really have the show without that.
Well, who? I don't know of anybody whose depression makes them awful people.
Um, I don't think that's what you're really. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we think of Shinji as being awful because he's constantly unable to self-actualize, and as a result, he never does anything. He just like constantly whines about not being able to do anything.
I
And
don't even care that he can't do anything. That's fine. You just don't have to be. You don't have to whine about it.
I also think they go real hard on the trauma in the book in a way that even the show does not. Oh, damn it, Brad, pay attention. I like the book more. Either way, it's good. I'm playing so badly.
I've never read any manga.
I've read very little. I've
I thought about doing Berserk, but there are a few things that would hold me back.
like the fact that
One,
there's 30 fucking volumes or whatever, and they're all $50 a piece and gigantic.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then you don't even
and
get the whole thing because the creator died before finishing the story.
exactly. But that's. I mean, that's sort of my problem with not just anime, but modern TV in general is they don't write and construct their things with endings in mind. They just write and forever. And either the show dies, or usually the show just dies, and you never get an ending, so you're just left hanging there, and that's not very fulfilling. Well, I mean, why would you want that?
I mean, with television, a lot of it is they want to make money as long as possible.
Well, find
And,
other way the merchandise. My God.
you know, for all the things I've ever said negative about Damon Lindelof, one of the best thing he ever wrote, as far as I'm concerned, is Watchmen. Was his Caesar
hmm
Watchmen. And that is, and he even said, no, I don't want to do another season. This is one and done. This is all it needed to be. And I have so much respect for that because he could have done that for 5, 10 years, and HBO would have let him print the money.
But that's surprising. Is it among all the companies, HBO has the most finished television shows out of anybody.
They
They keep
also,
trying to find ways to extend into like spin-offs, but The Sopranos, it ended.
Yep.
Breaking Bad, it ended.
Not an HBO show though.
Is it not?
No, that was
Or is that
AMC.
F? Okay.
No.
They let Game of Thrones in, but they keep trying to bring that spark back, even though it's never going to happen.
No, and honestly, nobody's interested because of how bad the last season turned out. Which
Oh,
it's
speaking
such
of,
it's so weird to think about how bad the last season is because if you take a lot of it apart as like just pure filmmaking, some of it's really impressive, but it's the macro that just kind of is like, nope, that sucks. Screw this.
speaking of Game of Thrones, did you see George R. R. Martin's like rant about screenwriters?
I did not.
Yeah, he went on a rant about screenwriters hijacking people's books and material to make it their own instead of adapting the material.
Yeah, he's got a reason to say that. He's got a very good reason to say that.
But that's always my issue when I'm trying to watch adaptations is some things are changed not because it makes it more presentable for a TV show. They just change it because I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and
I
sometimes
mean,
they just don't have enough source material to actually make something worth a damn.
I mean,
Rings of Power.
if a character is a horrible character, guess what? That's okay. They're just a horrible person. You don't have to change them to make them less horrible.
Hello, Star Wars sequel trilogy.
And what I was thinking of at this moment in time was The Expanse,
Yeah.
because they changed the detective to be less horrible, and I'm like, no, he is a messed up individual. You should have left him that way.
He was awesome. He was such a good character. As a result, like, he was fun to read the whole time.
I haven't read any of those books in a long time.
I never bought book 4, so I haven't either. I need to
Yeah,
change
there's
that.
another thing that just keeps going and going. Well, I mean, not that I can say anything. Dresden's still going.
Nice.
The
Expanse
he
ended.
did. Did they finally end the book series?
Yeah, it's ended after like 10 books.
Oh, okay. It just seemed like they just kept releasing books.
No, they stopped at 10 and they've got a new series going now. Oh, yeah, it was about to happen. Oh, how's it moving? Wrong way, apparently. It's bad. Like I've read so much less, like sci-fi recently.
I still majorly struggle. Uh, just so much sci-fi just comes off cold in its character writing
It's
that I
because
have a hard time attaching.
not enough science fiction writers are good at writing characters.
Which
Pres-
is like
Present company included, probably.
it's like they're so like just focused on the science that they just don't care about anything else. I don't know.
I mean, it really does come down to who you're reading, but you're not wrong. Like, Lindsay Ellis has 3 science fiction novels now, and the first 2 are just rich with great character writing.
But would she be considered like hardcore sci-fi, or would she be like what's the other side of sci-fi?
What, like space opera?
Yeah, what is there
Um,
another term for
I
that?
mean, I don't think you can call it she does space opera, because, I mean, it's lacking a lot of
That's
the
why I said
trappings
it.
of it.
That's why I was like, is there another term for softer sci-fi? I guess soft sci-fi.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna break it down like that. It's not hard sci-fi, but it does have um, a lot of things about of like how it's looking at humanity's reaction to a first contact situation,
Yeah,
and it
science
is very
fantasy. There you
character
go.
centered.
I have seen people use science fantasy a bit, and typically there is no fantasy. It's just
Well, it's like Star Wars is science fantasy.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, flew right back into the lasers. Good job, Brad.
But in general, I just don't read a whole lot anymore. When Edward McKay closed, it pretty much just killed my ability to read because it's just too damn expensive.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, one of the last books I bought was $13, and it was only like 100 pages. I mean, and I understand that that was from like a small press, but at the same time, come on, guys, what's the deal here? But that was a great book. It was Solo Viola by Antoine Volodin. Damn it, I loved it, and it hurt me in a lot of really bad ways. It was a brutal piece of fiction, and if you're listening to me right now, I want you to go and buy a copy and read it and hurt like I did because it's really damn good. I'm making good progress with 10 lives per
Eh,
continue
Very easy.
and very easy. Which one? Stage 2 or stage 4? Just pick for me stage 2. Okay.
How many stages do you go through?
I actually don't know. I know it's got that like forked path system in it.
I'm still reading House of Leaves. I don't think I've even broken 100 pages yet.
It gets easier to chew through pages once you get to the weirder
What
stuff.
it's not even like it's like difficult to read. I just haven't picked it up to read.
Oh no, I mean I just think it takes a lot of time to read some of the earlier stuff because of the split narrative and just how much raw text there is.
Yeah, I'm on page 14 of the actual book.
How are you liking it though?
I mean, it's fine with what I've read so far. It's been a little while. We're talking a number of months.
It's one of those books that I laugh a bit because you'll see like Facebook memes from people who read, and it's like if a person recommends these books to you, it's a red flag, or they're the worst people to listen to talk about anything. And I like two of the books on the list.
Well, okay, I'm assuming House of Leaves is one of them. What's the other?
Gravity's Rainbow.
What what exactly is? I mean, other than just the bizarre formatting of the book.
Well, I mean, the thing is, and I haven't even finished Gravity's Rainbow. I do like Pinchon though, and I want to eventually read it all the way through, even though that is a task. I've gotten as far as 60 pages into to Gravity's Rainbow.
I'm assuming I guess it's just really hard to read.
Yes. So it's like the prose is absolutely amazing to me. I think it's deliciously readable, but because it says so much, and sometimes the sentences go on for half a page, you'll read it and go, oh wow, I have no idea what I just read by the time you get to the end of it. You go back and you reread the sentence again, and whenever the book's 700 pages of that,
That happens a lot with me.
it's a tall
I'll
order.
be reading. I was like, "What the hell did I just read?" Let's go back.
Sweet. I
I
dodged
think I
all of those
slightly
lasers.
remember this novel.
What, Gravity's Rainbow?
Yeah,
I love the writing in it. Again, I think it's just tasty to read, but it's not an easy book. The other one that's on that list of red flag books was Infinite Jest. David Foster Wallace, I think, was the author.
hmm
I've never read that one, but considering I'm already on the red flag list for the other two, I might as well just make the trifecta and read all three and be a pretentious bastard like I already am. because I really liked House of Leaves. I read that one cover to cover, every word of it, and I thought it was fantastic. Ooh, that's a hard path to see. Yep, there we go. I made it further that time. What time is it? It's 11:38. I'll be on a little bit longer. That's fine.
It's like I don't know.
I haven't had the chat thing up. Has anybody popped in?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, anybody in chat?
Yeah, we had it rated at the very beginning.
Oh, who was it?
Felix.
Ah, okay, cool. Well, hello again, and thank
Yeah,
you
let's
for
see. It
rating.
shows how much he pays attention.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. I don't have anything in front of me. My computer's to my right.
We gotta teach you how to multitask, sir.
I need to play different games then. Not, not any bullet hell shmups. I don't know what I would have played if I actually got the Polymega to switch over, but I really need to. I would really like to get better HDMI switchers than what I have, because the you can't even like switch to the specific channel on the one I have, even though there's a remote for it. Boom. Self-destruction. Are you kidding me? I blew that up myself.
Oh, they didn't want to give you that satisfaction.
Apparently. I'm still irritated that I can't get the Final Fantasy IV free enterprise randomizer to work with my copy of Final Fantasy IV. Because you gotta have version 1.01. And as far as I can tell, I probably have 1.0 because I have an original slotted cart rather than the open-ended carts of later Super Nintendo. But I am going to try that Final Fantasy VI hack I was telling you about. Even though it adds something it does some things that I don't think Final Fantasy VI needs, like extra side quests and a post game. But I imagine it can't be a worse post game than what was in the Game Boy Advance version.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, you never did that?
I just don't remember. I played the advanced version. I own it. I
So
mean, I
if
don't remember it. It's been years.
yeah, if you defeat all 8 dragons in the main game, it unlocks the Dragon Cave.
Oh yeah.
And it's the longest, most exhausting multi-party dungeon in anything. God, it's miserable. And it's not even
Almost
that it
like
was like especially hard. It's just boring.
it's almost like a different group of people designed it.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
How maybe you should just leave well enough alone and do straight ports.
No, we
Square.
can't do that. That's that's not allowed.
Oh, I know. I've played Final Fantasy VII Remake. We can't have nice things. We need more, 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 and it's got to have the shiniest graphics and suck.
Well, see, that's funny. As I was reading, someone made a comment because it was talking about how the latest version of Seven, the newer game, is
Rebirth?
still is yeah, it's struggling sales wise a little bit.
It is.
And someone was like, all we wanted was updated graphics and more story, and I'm like, no, all we really wanted was just the updated graphics. Actually, I didn't really need it at all, but
Yeah,
if we
I've
were going to get it, then I would just wanted the updated graphics. You could get some quality of life improvements in there if you'd like, but overall, didn't really need any. Definitely didn't need any extra story.
Yeah,
We've seen how that goes. It's not very good.
yeah, we were there when Advent Children came out on DVD, and
I was thinking Crisis Core. I mean,
oh god, yeah, that was bad too. Although Crisis Core is not as uniquely terrible as Advent Children, but it
no,
is very bad.
I just don't understand why people just need extra. Like, can't you just accept the story for how it was?
The answer to that is no. People always want more. The people who talk like that are, I don't know. I mean, I'd be making a generalization to make my theory on it, but I guess I've already kind of let that out. I'm generalizing probably, and this is an unfair statement. But most of the time, when I hear people say that, I feel like they have a history of reading a lot of fan fiction. And I'm not criticizing the writing or reading of fan fiction, but whenever you want it to be canon, that's a different bag altogether because, frankly, the story was what it was and it didn't need to be more. Being more would not make it better, it would just make it messier. And that's exactly what happened. You get more, and that's how you get self-insert pop singers as villains in Crisis Core.
Felix says, regardless of what you're saying, I see the judgment on your face.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I have really weird feelings about fan fiction, um, and part of it's especially since reading like stuff by Alan Moore, because Alan Moore approaches the idea of fiction as anything you write on the page is actually happening,
Uh-huh.
and I think that's a fun idea to think about in terms of thinking about canon in fiction. So whenever you have somebody like rewriting what your story is about and what happens with your characters, it's happening. Like, how delirious and weird is that going to be for your character who is going to be acting a completely different way or as a cartoonish version of themselves for the satisfaction of somebody else's headcanon?
I don't know.
It's a very weird uh, it's a very weird
Sometimes I
way to think
can't. I
about
feel
fiction.
like
And
people who have they. I'm like, do they have some form of attachment issues because they can't seem to just let go?
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
I mean, it's like, why else are you doing it? Like, what is the driving force for doing it?
I mean, they'll claim it's a love of the story. It's a love of the characters.
But if it's the love of the characters, then you just reread the story.
I mean, that's how I feel, but I'm not those people. I can't say. I don't get it. It's not me. I don't enjoy that level of thinking about story. You know, because I am trying to get rid of it because I think on some level it could be seen as a toxic mindset to be that protective of a story, to think that fan fiction is negative in some capacity. That is in me. I mean, it's something I know is about myself is that I think on some level that I think of fan fiction in a negative light. I've thought about like what would I do if I was somebody who liked something enough to write fan fiction? What if I was going to write fan fiction of something I really like? And I've sat there and tried to think about what I would do, and I came up with story ideas, and then I was like, but that isn't fan fiction anymore. It is not fan fiction the same way that other people write fan fiction. I'm just coming up with stories that would take place in that setting, and it doesn't have any of those characters that are in the original because I don't think that's interesting. Those stories are told, so it doesn't even like qualify as the same sort of thing that fan fiction writers write. So my thought exercise falls flat because um, I'm not fitting the criteria. I feel.
Well, that's the reason why I bring up the idea of possibly that they have a hard time moving on from things to. I mean, 'cause there's so much else to read. Why are you going to spend so much extra time on
Uh,
this one thing? That's like people who replay the same game. Like they'll say, "Yeah, I played it like 40 times." Oh, how long have you had it? 5 years.
I can't say anything about that because of the number of times I've played through Mario 3 and Super Metroid.
Yeah, that's been how what 30 years?
Well, with Mario 3 it is. With Metroid it's like 20.
Even still, and that's what like once a year maybe.
Usually. I did play Super
That,
Metroid twice in 1 year recently.
but
But
you're not creating new you know fantasy stories about Super Metroid. You
see,
play it
that's
because
the
you
thing I was
enjoy it.
thinking. Like, as a creator, I find the concept of spending time in somebody else's worlds and having to write their characters unfulfilling personally. I would want to write my own stories that I can actually do something with, and I'm not going to get a cease and desist letter from some angry author later. So, I don't know. I just think, I mean, clearly it's fine, whatever. People are going to do what they want. It doesn't
I
actually hurt
mean, I'm
anybody.
not saying that they can't do what they want. I'm just trying to understand why they
It's
want to do it.
yeah, it's for us. It's a yeah, this doesn't click for us sort of thing. And as a creator, it doesn't click for me. I have things I want to write already. I don't need other people's characters. And yeah, unfortunately, I do have it kind of sitting in my brain that if I ever did get published on that level, and people wanted to write fan fiction of myself, I've really got to like ignore that that's happening because that's not at all what I want people to do with my stories. If they're inspired to write because of my writing, I want them to write their own stuff. And certainly there's a degree of like personal ownership over my text or whatever, and that's the kind of thing I got to get over. But it's something I got to get past over time because that's a possible thing that will happen with my writing in the future. God willing that people like my writing enough to do that, because that means they're buying my books. I really hope somebody buys my books one day. That would be very nice. I have to finish editing it and sell it first, though. And of course, right now I'm working on developing characters for a new book, and that's really overwhelming because it's a big cast. But no, that's anytime I think about Final Fantasy VII remake, it does come back down to like, man, this just sounds like fan fiction.
I mean, at this point, with the whole thing of like creators in mind, it is the original writer, regardless of who actually penned the stuff, is not there anymore. He's not working on it. It's not like he came back and decided he was going to expand upon the things that he did from however many years ago, from 1997.
I also hate this like revisionist history that there are people who think that, oh, this is what they intended all along.
No, that
No,
if they
it,
would have wanted that, they would have done it, but
I
they
mean,
didn't.
not just that, but like, how many Final Fantasy sevens were there during development? Like, think about the development history of Final Fantasy VII. It was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, we got a few games out of that, didn't we?
We got some really good games out of it. We got Final Fantasy VIII. We got not Chrono Trigger. We got um, Parasite Eve. Like, there were a lot of ideas on page, and the ones we got were real good. It's a shame that Square's dead and gone.
Yeah, it's interesting to think that
the, the,
no one really creates like that anymore. That studios now just have to solely devote like a giant mass of people to one project.
well, that's just the development cycles being different than they were, 20, God, 30 years ago. God, I'm getting old. But they could devote less people to a project if they scaled back and did less graphically demanding products. Wouldn't that be nice? But what do I know? I'm just some schlub recording a live stream talking about video games from 30 years ago and playing a video game from 30 years ago. Would you please take damage, sir? Please? Please? I'd really like for you to take damage. Very nice. Um. Oh. I thought I was gonna be able to weave through it, but I was not. Alright.
Why is there so many balls?
I don't know, it's throwing its balls at me there. It was real serious about taking me out.
Now it's got rocket hands.
Now it's flying the screen, and it's back, and it's gone again. And now the moths are back. Must continue. The funny thing with 7 Remake is that I have I've pretty much made a pact with myself that I don't talk about that game socially, if I could help it.
I don't. Period. Like the fact that I'm talking about it now is actually a miracle. Because one, my phone is listening to me, and I know I'm going to get freaking articles, and Twitter is just going to bombard, just assault me with tweets about it now, and I'll have to do the process of purging it all over again.
You see, that happened after whenever you went to Record Store Day to help out, and you messaged me that you had to hear the Taylor Swift album for the first 2 hours of the day.
Oh God!
I was inundated with articles about that crap for days.
It was pretty bad. Like,
of course, it was. It's Taylor Swift.
Well, no, like even beyond that, like even like among like people who write her music weren't exactly, uh, loving of the album.
I've heard that it's got a very mixed reception. I'm never going to listen to the album to find out because I don't like her anything.
I didn't care for what I heard. It didn't really have anything that I felt was unique. It just sounded like because right now there's a lot of like I don't want to call it techno, but there's like electronic pop among the pop and rock artists lately.
Yeah,
and
I mean even Chelsea Wolf's new records got some of that in it.
But that's sort of what it felt like.
Oh, what the billionaire pop star is just trying to cash in on a trend? To be sure.
I don't know. I don't even know if I've heard anything else. I know that supposedly at one point in time she was country, and then she's no longer country, and
yeah, that's been over for a while. Ever since at least when she got sued by Right Said Fred.
Okay, it's a very weird thing to be sued by.
I have to bring that up every time I get a chance because it's the funniest thing I know about her is that she got sued by the I'm Too Sexy guys. For one of her songs where she talks back to the haters or whatever. God, she's the cheesiest garbage.
But okay. Yeah, the only other thing I can remember from it was every song was about breaking up or something about a relationship and I was like, my God.
Well, she wants it to be known that she would be a terrible girlfriend, I guess. At least that's always been my take on things, and maybe that's unfair, but she just
I was like, yep. I have now to say that I have actually listened to Taylor Swift, and I did not like it.
I had to hear too much of it at retail, and I'm never going to do that again. I choose peace.
Well, when I work at retail, I guess they turned the speaker down in the pharmacy, so you don't hear the music.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Every now and then you'll get All American Hero playing, and so the only
Definitely.
thing I can think of is George Costanza.
Wait a minute, they played that song in your at where you work?
Yes, yes. And every time it plays, the one person who actually, watches various amounts of TV and movies and stuff and knows these things will point out and say, "Hey, Brandon, it's our song."
That is fantastic. It is genuinely amazing. I never got that song whenever I worked in retail. I always got Taylor Swift and just Jordan
No,
Sparks and whatnot.
I miss working at Rite Aid in the radio because I got Prince, I got White Snake, I got Red Hot Chili Peppers, I got Billy Joel, I got some. Every now and then there would be some
That's gonna come ahead off even
uh,
more.
Elton John. They played a really filthy song by Peter Gabriel.
Sledgehammer.
Yes, I don't
Right.
understand.
Let me see. Let me get this window.
It's like, is it popular? Yes. It's also very filthy. It's
People like
just
their
not.
filth.
It's just not. Prince style of filthy.
Prince is filthy and obvious. Um,
Yes, it's not obviously filthy.
it's like what's metaphors for cowards? What just happened? We left. We left. We're gone. Oh, there we are. Okay. Yeah, I'm done playing for tonight. I need to go to sleep because I will be awakened very early tomorrow by a child who wants to do everything.
We've got about an hour and a half in there.
Yeah, and I had some fun playing a game I'm very bad at. Thank you,
Hey,
thanks for joining us again. Prince was a metaphor.
at least we didn't have any real audio issues this time.
Not just the weird echo, apparently.
No, we didn't have that because she just had to stream up twice.
Oh, okay, that's good. I always worry
Yeah.
because I can hear an echo for me, and it's where it's monitoring me and our Discord chat, I
Oh,
guess.
I definitely can't do that.
So,
I can't have two things going on. That it would drive me crazy. It's very distracting.
yeah, it's not great,
I,
but
I just I just had to accept the audio is how it is.
all right, well, all right, well, until next time, which next
Yes.
time shouldn't be too long from now, but it will be a different game than Radiant Silvergun. Maybe Saturday night I'll jump on. We don't have any company.
Alrighty.
All right, well, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.